sitting beneath the eaves. Not one drop will find me. A little seedling is breaking through, persistent as the thought of you. Looking out into a sea of green, thinking on the years and miles that lie between. It seems so long ago, but you're still on my mind, you know. I go walking through the trees, the water dances over stones. The April morning is clean and new, but a breeze has brought the thought of you. Looking out into a sea of green, thinking on the years and miles that lie between. It seems so long ago, but you're still on my mind, you know. I sat down by the riverside, fearing I could drink it dry and still not be satisfied, satisfied. The banks are full with all this rain. If they'll overflow, I can't say. The crickets calling in the firelight, and a long and gentle sleep tonight. Looking out into a sea of green, thinking on the years and miles that lie between. It seems so long ago, but you're still on my mind. Yeah, you're still on my mind, you know. You know. Still on my mind, you know.
Let me tell you about my angel, the one you never see, my everyday companion, living deep inside of me. She guides me through the trenches, she gets me out of every mess. She's my Bible, she's my buddy, she's my personal GPS.
Good evening, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Nice to see you again tonight.
Welcome to Inside Live with Alice and Freebo.
That's us. We are happy to be with you here, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, or if you're listening live on the radio at WPVM FM in Asheville, North Carolina, 107.3.
Whoa,
our light just went out. Oh, well.
I think, hopefully
It's still bright
electricity.
enough right now.
It is bright enough.
We definitely have power.
We'll fix
We're
it.
good. We're good. If you're listening on the radio, it doesn't matter whether we have light or not.
Well, I want to start off with a song that I had the pleasure of playing hundreds of times back in the day when I was playing bass with Bonnie Raitt back in the 70s. And it's a song that this arrangement made its way onto her record. And Alice and I have been playing it. And this is her arrangement and my arrangement of that arrangement. And a wonderful song by John Prine, Angel from Montgomery. I am an old woman named after my mother. My old man is another. Child has grown old. If dreams were thunder and lightning was desired, this old house would have burned down such a long time ago. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go.
A young girl, I had me a cowboy. He weren't much to look at, just a free rambling man. But that was a long time ago, and no matter how I tried, the years they just flow by like a broken down dam. Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go.
There's flies in the kitchen, I hear 'em all buzzing, and I ain't done nothing since I woke up today.
How the hell can a person go to work in the morning and come home in the evening and have nothing to say?
Make me an angel that flies from Montgomery. Make me a poster of an old rodeo. Just give me one thing that I can hold on to. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. To believe in this living is just a hard way to go. Oh, yes it is.
Thank you, everybody. Nice to see you all in the comments. Thanks for saying hi to us. We appreciate having you here and tuning in every week. We've been doing this show since last September now.
Yeah.
This is our 29th episode.
Oh my gosh.
And we are excited to welcome yet another amazing artist this week. Her name is Shanna in a Dress, and I look forward to asking her where exactly that name came from. I'm sure she'll tell us. But I met Shanna at Folk Alliance initially. I think it was in Kansas City or maybe Montreal, but we shared a showcase room and at the Big Orange Tarp. And I loved how she's just one of those artists that can make you laugh and shed a tear. And she's just really clever and a great person. So we're really excited to have her.
And let's turn she into you. Hi, Shanna.
Hi, Shanna. How are you?
Great. Better now that I just got to listen to that beautiful song. I'll never get tired of that one. And I assume
great
you
song.
don't
Thank you.
get tired of it, Freebo, since you've played it a million
No,
times.
I really hundreds of times with Bonnie, and I'll never forget when she first brought it to me, and I learned it, and I've come up with my own arrangement, and I've heard hundreds of people do that song in many different ways, and it's just such a well-written song, and
really
I think
is.
everybody who does it really makes it their own, and that's what's happened to us. It's turned into a really lovely duet that's just so passionate. It's just a beautiful song and so simple.
Yeah.
That's what he does best.
He
does do best.
He's-
What do you do best, Shannon?
Yeah.
I'm going to say the opposite of simple.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The way
So-
John can say so much in so little words. I'm like, how many words can I fit into a song? Let's just see. It's like
That-
a little phrasing puzzle.
I love that. It's a good challenge.
It
So
is.
will you start us off with one of these wordy masterpieces?
Well, I don't know if it's a masterpiece, but it's definitely wordy. And, since we have all these listeners, thank you for sharing your audience with me. I like to just put
Absolutely.
it out there that, Shanna's looking for a good date. And, and if you're still interested by the end of this song, then, well, you just let me know. First date, oh, you have a nice face. It's small talk over coffee, we go over the basics. A bunch of little facts that really don't matter. I'll start with my family, end with the data. I have two older brothers, one's in tech, one's a chiropractor. My family's from Buffalo, but that's not where I grew up. Went to school at UVA, wahoo, I got my BA. That was an expensive way to make good friends. I'm a 7 on the Enneagram. I have a 67.5-inch wingspan. My birthday is 2/19. I'm on the cusp of Aquarius and Pisces, but neither match much. Play 5 instruments, but only one of them well. I'm a size 10 shoe, and I never tell my middle name. I have 2 eyes and 1 persistent cough, and 10 toes only 'cause they cut the 11th one off. Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me? I play a mean horse on the basketball court, but walking with the dog is my favorite sport. I do cat and cow and yoga if it makes me sweat, and I go down rabbit holes on the internet. By now you know what I look like when I'm not dressed fancy, that I don't like to drink unless it tastes like candy, and I could be a vegetarian if it weren't for chicken wings. I put Frank's Red Hot on everything. I get freaked out by people touching their eyes. I'm a realistic romantic who loves surprises. I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift. Someday we'll co-write a song. She doesn't know I exist. Maybe pass this one along. Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me? We've been hanging in a few months. Maybe we'll make it. Things I should have said up front, but I guess I waited. I didn't date till really late in life. I think marriage is a sham, but I still want to be a wife. I think I want kids because I like them a lot, but I'm afraid I can't afford them unless my career takes off. But if it does, maybe it's okay if I don't have them. I'm afraid of childbirth and leaking outside the bathroom. It'd be a bonus if you could balance out my stingy boss, which is this guitar. I'll only marry for love, I'm not shallow, but I can't deny that my pockets are. Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me? Let's set it straight, it's like the 28th date. By now you know my clock runs 10 minutes late, and I burn what I cook, and I never make the bed. But if you're still listening, maybe I haven't scared you yet. I twist and break my hair, it drives people crazy. I'm messy and I'm the best at procrastinating. Do my half of the chores less than a quarter of the time, but I'll forgive your weaknesses if you overlook mine. I can be immature, but it's not always bad. I'll get you to laugh and flash you when you're sad. Got a good brain on my shoulders, a good heart in my chest. If you can stimulate those, I'll let you stimulate the rest. Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me? What if this song was like COVID-19 and it spread across the nations and they'd all know me? And when they lifted the quarantine, I'd be overwhelmed with applications. Need a committee to screen, so don't apply if you love 45. And if you're not into my music, this is never gonna drive. I think this could be a good way to save some time. If you like wacky songwriters, I could be your bride. Do you wanna go out with me? Do you wanna go out with me?
Man, you know, every time I hear that, Shanna, I hear something new that I didn't hear the last time. It's so good.
It really is.
There's so many things I could bring up to just say. I feel like I can really relate to, like, being a pro at the game of horse on the basketball court. I think that's, like, one of my strengths as well. Maybe we need to have a face-off at some
Were you a
point.
basketball player?
No.
I was.
He
Yeah?
actually knows how. Wait, are you actually a basketball player too?
And no, I mean, I played rec league as a kid. I can follow through and make it look like I know what I'm doing with my wrist.
Yes. Yep.
But you play 5 instruments and one of them well.
Yes. What are the other 4?
No one's ever asked me this. Okay. Well, guitar, ukulele, and piano are the 3 obvious ones. And then I count voice as an instrument because that's the only way I can get myself to practice is if I think of my voice as an instrument. And the fun bonus 5th one is French horn.
Oh,
One of my
nice.
favorite instruments. I love French horn.
You
Beautiful
do love
instrument.
French horn.
I
You
do.
talk about that all the time.
I do.
He does.
I should have brought it today.
I'm sorry you didn't have it
You
tonight.
have? Do you have one?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a tough. It's called the armature. It's like it's really difficult because most of the French horn notes are in the high range, but it's got a very small mouthpiece. It also has a low range, so it's hard to get the low notes with the small mouthpiece. And the high notes you really way up with either no valves or one valve or second valve. It's a tough instrument.
Wow.
Yeah, it is really hard. Did you
guys.
play? You know a lot. Did you play a brass instrument, Freebo?
I play tuba.
Play
And
or
before-
played?
Play. I still
Oh,
have
it's
it.
current.
I have a tuba. Yeah.
Why
Mr.
don't you ever
Mr. Rock and Roll
accompany-
tuba guy.
We have a couple tunes that has come out for. Maybe we'll have to bring it out in the after party tonight. We'll see.
That's a good idea.
It is in
yeah.
the next room.
Yeah.
but-
In fact, another John Prine song that we do
Are you
with
serious?
it. I am serious. I am serious. Yes, I am.
So
Yeah.
okay.
Awesome.
While I love this conversation about brass instruments, I want to make sure our audience knows about you, Shanna. So tell us where you came from. How did you become Shanna in a Dress?
She came from Buffalo. I heard it in the song.
I know. Okay, but I want more
Actually,
Oh, okay. You
my
didn't?
family's from Buffalo, but I am not really.
How does that work?
details. The stork brought her to a different
Really?
location.
Yeah. The majority of my youth was in Northern Virginia, so DC suburbs, and how did I become Shanna in a Dress? I was like having these. I immediately wanted to answer your question with like, well, I came from my mother's womb, of course. And then I imagined like a baby in a dress, and it's like, we shall call her Shanna in a Dress.
Yes, exactly. That's how I pictured
But
it.
no, I was oh wait, I don't even know if this is like a radio friendly explanation, but it's my name, right?
Yeah.
Go for it. As long as you don't use the 7 deadly words,
Yes,
we're good.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So my mom's a whore, my dad's a whore, and I come from a long line of whores, all from Buffalo, New York. And so thus my name is Shanna Whore, which is a rockin' name, if
Spelled?
you ask me.
It is. It really is.
Hoar.
Uh-huh.
Like the frost.
Yes, of course.
And so after, a few years of performing as Shanna Whore, I was like, you know what? Maybe this is the reason my career isn't booming. And as a really lazy dresser who came to appreciate the wonder of the one piece outfit, I was wearing dresses a lot, and that is
just
how
felt
I became
right.
Shanna in a Dress. Yeah, it felt like me.
Well, I'm reminded that I have heard you tell that story, and I remember the last time you said it. I think we were on another showcase together. Maybe it was when you were our guest in the after party. You said that when you grow up as a whore, you have a certain amount of you have to have a thick skin on some level. You get used to the jokes and all that. And did that have something to do with your great sense of humor and just your writing and all that? Would you say?
It probably does, and I think that would, if that was true, then all the horrors would be funny. And I don't think that that's necessarily a horror family trait. I think it's divergent. Some horrors lived their whole life just answering the question of what's your name with their first name, and they just hit it as much as they could. Right. And I watched some people do that and was like, I'm going to go the other direction. So when people are like, what's your name? I'm like, whore. Shanna Whore. Just like I'm James Bond.
It's great.
It's nothing like owning it and then turning it into a riff and having some humor about it. It's beautiful. I love it.
You're all about the name change.
Well, my
Freebo.
last name was Whore too, and that's why I changed it to Freebo.
Wow, you guys.
Wait, Dad, is that you?
Well,
Exactly. Well,
That's awesome.
Alice, why don't we get out of this little
know,
circle
I
here?
know.
Why don't you play a song?
I'll get us out. Okay. All right. I'm going to play a song.
And then we'll get back to you, Shanna, okay?
Okay.
All right. I think I'll play a newer song. This is one that we actually just went over to Norman's Rare Guitars yesterday in Tarzana and did a video of this song with Michael Lemo. And that'll be coming out in the next couple weeks, I'm sure. But just want to say hi to all our friends watching on the Norman's Rare Guitars YouTube channel. Our dear friends at Norms have been so generous to have us broadcast Inside Live on their channel for the last few months. And that was actually a big part of how we got the show started, because we knew that Norm and Jen were willing to help us, reach some new folks and share our music with a wider audience through their channel. So if you're wondering how we appeared on the Norms channel, that's the story.
That's how it happened and how
We
it
are just down the
continues to
road
happen.
here in Hollywood and not too far from them. So
Yeah, and if you would please, whether you're on Norm's channel or on the Facebook channels, if you would just share the show on one of the other for your friends, Facebook, right?
Yeah, if you're watching on Facebook, if you could just hit that share button, that helps us a lot. They don't really have the same function on YouTube, but Facebook is great for sharing. That really helps people find the show. And just to mention, if you would like to support the artists for tonight, The information to do so is in the chat, and you can also go to alicehowe.com/support, and that's Alice like in Wonderland and Howe with an E. And this is a newer song of mine that I wrote with Freebo, and it's going to be on my next record. It's called Things I'm Not Saying. It's all quiet now at the end of the day. Unpacked my suitcase, I put the dishes away. It's not hard to stay busy, I got so much to do. If I stop, I'll get caught with the things that I'm not saying to you. I heard you've been traveling, I heard you're doing all right. You got some new girlfriend, moving on with your life. But I'm still full of questions. Do you wonder too? Do you still save a spot for the things that I'm not saying to you? I block it out, I play pretend, I write you letters that I can't send. I get so tired of doing what's right. I don't want to be tongue-tied the rest of my life. I bought a new car and I moved to LA. There's just something about it, I don't care what they say. I can walk in the sunshine on the days I feel blue. It's the best place I got to escape what I'm not saying to you. I block it out, I play pretend, I write you letters that I can't send. I still know your number, this could be the night. I don't want to be tongue-tied the rest of my life. I needed to fly, and I needed to grow. I ain't telling you nothing you don't already know, but I still keep you with me. We both know that it's true. No, I haven't forgot all the things that I'm not saying to you. No, I haven't forgot all the things that I'm not saying to you.
I love that.
Thank you. Wait. Hey, Shanna.
She said she loved it.
Oh, you had your headphones in?
I
I'm
did.
jealous.
I did, yes.
That's such a good idea.
What?
I feel like
that,
everyone-
the tag there?
Yeah.
in that chorus.
And I feel like everyone could write that song, like the things I'm not saying, you know?
Thank you.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Thanks. I don't know about you, and maybe we can talk a little bit about how we get to writing songs, but in that case and in many of my songs, I just sit and I just kind of improvise and sing to myself, and I often just describe exactly what is happening around me or what I'm feeling, and that usually leads me somewhere. And like in that case, you know, I was just describing like, okay, I think I got home from tour and I was just, you know, that feeling of like, oh, it's like a little bit of a letdown, and you've unpacked and you're just sitting there in your house, and I was alone, and I was just like, man. And it's like, well, what am I thinking about? And in that case, it was all the stuff that's kind of pent up, that you save, that you don't want to share with someone out of, you know, fear or you know, not wanting to confront, and I just kind of went with that idea. So thank you. Glad you
Love
liked
that.
it. Thanks.
And yeah, that's very similar to my process too, I think.
Cool.
So Shanna, you live in Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah.
I do.
And just there's been some very strange goings on in Boulder.
Yeah.
Recently.
You've
What's
been in
the-
our minds and hearts, and I've been to
Yeah.
Boulder myself. It's such a beautiful place, and so sorry for what you guys are all going through. What does it feel like there?
What's the vibe there?
Yeah.
And have you felt anything, and what people talking about it? Not what's going on?
Yeah, it's so weird that it happens so close to me. That grocery store is like a 7-minute drive away. I've been
Wow.
to it many times. I thought about going to it on the day of the shooting. So
Really?
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
I was gonna buy cinnamon roll ingredients, and
Oh,
I
wow.
procrastinated and I put it off by a day. And so it gives me those feelings that I feel like all of the 9/11 people had of like, I was gonna be in New York City that day, you know, and you hear all these like missed encounters. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, that could have been me. That was such a it was the grocery store. We all go there.
That's what's so chilling about it, to know that, like you said, I mean, what stops you from just going on your regular errands and going about your life? And it's just so senseless, and yeah, it's a place where you would expect to just be going about your mundane day, and I can't even imagine.
Yeah, but for the grace of God, wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's past time for something to be done about
yeah,
gun
the
control
same.
in this country, in my humble opinion.
No, I agree. The same argument keeps happening, and both sides keep saying the same things. And
There's a way to have people have their freedom, I think, but
yeah, absolutely,
but
and
have safety and humanity.
yeah, no, this country's not all about complete. You can't drive 110 miles an hour if you feel like it.
Right.
If the speed limit's 55, I mean, we have regulation for a reason. But
Yeah.
do you have any music that goes along with this? Any way, shape, or
Actually,
form? Or?
Yeah, I do. I have, not directly, but I shared in my newsletter today with people about how the thing that's the scariest about this is that I don't feel scared. Like I have that should feeling of like I should feel really angry, or I should feel really sad, and I should feel scared, or one of the three, or something heightened.
Right.
But I feel kind of numb to it, right? It's like, that happened. I didn't know anyone. It's sad, but I'm moving on. And like, I hate that I feel that way. And it reminds me of this song, that's going to be the title track off of my debut studio record this year. And
Congratulations.
Yeah.
yeah, it's very exciting. So
We'll definitely talk more about that. But yeah, that's great.
we shall. Yeah, here's this song. Uh-oh, 1, 2, 3, 4. I blink, but I don't even think no more. My body walks around the world so mechanically. He died, she's born, he's married, I'm bored, and I don't even shed a tear. I've become vacant and numb, programmed to what they all want to hear. What I would give to feel like you. What I would give to feel human. But I'm a robot waiting for somebody to move me. I'm a robot waiting for somebody to move me. I'm a robot waiting for somebody to move me. Somebody think I'm a robot. Uh-oh, cut me open. I'm fairly certain all you'll see is nuts and bolts and faulty wiring, emptiness crashing together in a hollow chest. Oh, I remember hearing once, indifference is the opposite of love. And I remember feeling once, but the dream gets hazy as the days go on. What I would give to feel like you. What I would give to feel human. But I'm a robot waiting for somebody to move me. I'm a robot waiting for somebody to move me. I'm a robot waiting for somebody to move me. Somebody think I'm a robot. Oh, what I would give to feel like you. What I would give to feel human. But I'm a robot waiting for somebody to move me. Somebody. I'm a robot.
Wow.
Love that.
Wow, me
That
too.
melody. I could hear that, Shanna, as like a pop song. I mean, with like cool pop production, it could go so many different ways. I'm wondering how you're going to produce it for your record.
Right, well, it's already done. It's
Yeah.
The mystery has been solved. I felt that same way. I was like, oh, I feel like this could be poppy, but then
Yeah.
what if all of my folk community rejects me?
Right.
That's always the question, like what
I've been there
genre
too.
do I put it in?
I know, yeah.
Have you, how did you come about doing your record? Do you have a producer?
Yeah.
Do you have a band? Are you doing it at home? How are you going about it?
I had Megan Burt produce my record, and she and John McVeigh was my sound engineer, and we mostly just tracked it session player at a time. It's my first time really like doing it, so I felt like an observer of like what do you do with a raw song? Like, how does it turn into the music we all know and love? And
Yeah.
found it to be just like a great learning experience, really fascinating.
I couldn't agree more. When I worked with Freebo on my first full-length record, I had the same experience. I had been in the studio before, but as basically my own producer with no real vision as far as like changing the song, but just kind of putting it down the way it was and doing a very simple production. And it's a whole different animal when you when you, as you say, Freebo, to shape what goes behind the voice and kind of frame the vocal, right? To quote you, but could you speak to that a little bit as a producer?
I mean, I can, but I was also going to ask you. I'll speak to it and then bring it back to you, and then back to you, Shanna, excuse me. I mean, to me, the job of the producer is exactly that: is to frame the vocal, because it's all about the song. The song is what the whole thing is about, and the vehicle for the song is the singer, right? So how do you frame the singer and then shape the music around the singer in some sort of a way that reflects the emotion of the song? Or in some cases with the Beatles, some of those lyrics are very sad lyrics, and they decide to put happy music to it, which really works in their case. So there's so many ways you can go. And then, of course, you can do it the way, when I met Alice, she had just done her EP, which is really, like, say, just her with her friend Jeff Feeler playing electric guitar for some color. And that was it. It was a folk record. And when I met her, I heard some other things, and I heard some blues sensibilities in her singing. And I said, would you come out to LA? And I basically put a band together, and it was her first experience playing with a band. Now we were in the studio yesterday doing some demos for our next record, which we're going to do in Muscle Shoals, where the Swampers played all that great music, and we've already done a few sessions there. And so it would be interesting. I'd like to bring it back to you, Alice, and say, what is it that you have learned from then till now? Because you've learned a lot.
Well, I was going to say, when I mentioned the pop production, and then you said, Shanna, about not wanting to be rejected by your folk people, which is like a real thing. I mean, we have wonderful fans in different genres. So like, how do we, for me, it's not so much a pop thing, but just like more of like blues, Americana, like a more kind of rockin' production that I love, you know, on music that I listen to. And then how do you not be afraid to bring in some of those elements when you're coming from like a more singer-songwriter folk place? Because with my first record, I definitely was a little bit afraid of like the rhythm section and the bass and the drums. And now I listen to it and I'm like, oh man, we could have really like, we could have like hammed it up a little more. And like, it's fine. I like the way it turned out, but I'm excited to, you know, bring that knowledge, because you just learn so much when you're observing and being in there with people who've done it much more. So I feel like more ready to take it to the next record. And I'm sure you'll feel that way the next time you record. It's such a learning process.
And it's interesting for me as a producer, because I was a little reticent. I was a little timid in terms of the bass and the drums and the rocking element, thinking, well, it's folk. So looking back, we would definitely accentuate that. And the new stuff we're doing, I really want to hear and feel those drums. I really want that bass popping at the same time to still support and surround the vocal.
And I also feel like, Shanna, you are a winner of the New Folk Music, New Folk Kerrville Folk Festival, New Folk Songwriting Competition, and congratulations. That is great.
Thanks.
Was that last year?
Very nice.
Yep. Was that 2020? Interesting
It was
day
a virtual one, huh?
Yeah. How does that feel? Like, because I was going to say, my point was that I think the people who love you and your writing, like, in a way, they're going to love you no matter how you produce your record, unless you go like completely crazy, but it's like, it's you. It's still you. So how did you get involved with Kerrville, and what was that like being a part of that in the pandemic? And could you tell folks about that competition a little bit?
Sure. Well, especially in our little folk world, the Kerrville Song Competition is a big deal.
A big deal?
Us.
It is.
Yeah. Like, I know people who base their entire worth as a songwriter on the fact that they haven't gotten into that contest, which is so sad. But I was one of the winners last year when it was canceled. And so we had a virtual festival. It was such a, bittersweet, double-edged sword. Like, this is huge. Oh, but I'm not on a stage playing to a bunch of people getting to do like my thing. I pre-recorded it and sent it in, and they played it on a virtual festival. And luckily I've gotten to still connect with a lot of the other finalists for that, and that has been really great. And I think just having that validation, like, even though I say, that's so sad that you base your worth on it. Like, oh my gosh, it meant something to me to be like,
Yeah.
someone thinks my writing is good. Someone that people like care, this, like, it is insane
It feels
to me
good.
how much I like the validation means something.
It does. It's a balance. I think we all want that. And at the same time, we try to be like, no, like we were joking in the sound check, like my mantra, you look in the mirror and you're like, I'm good. Like I'm doing a good job. Like you have to keep that going for yourself, but sure is nice once in a while to have a review or like to be in a competition where somebody's like stamp of approval, that's.
Well, and just so you know, Alice got into it 3 years ago, but did not win.
Wah,
So there you go.
But getting in is like the same thing as winning.
And it was probably a good experience for my ego in some ways, and also what was interesting was like which songs I chose to do, and I was like, I kind of walked away. I was like, okay, yeah, like I maybe would have chosen different tunes if I had done it again, and it's a good experience to have that. But will you go this coming? Are they doing it this year?
Yeah, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do
Oh,
it in
great.
October.
Oh,
Which
cool.
like I melt in the heat, so I am pumped.
That's probably really
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Folks, this for those who don't know, Kerrville Folk Festival is in Kerrville, Texas, and it's an 18-day music festival. So people spend, that's like their vacation for the
That's
year.
it,
There are
yeah.
people that go the whole time, and like hardcore, really like get like the mobile home, get the whole camp set up beautifully. It is so much fun.
I mean, it's really all about, I like to say it's about peace, love, and music, not necessarily in that order, but everybody there either plays music or loves music, and as soon as somebody starts to play a song, everybody shuts up and listens. So it gives the singer the ultimate respect,
It's really
which of
about
course
writers,
we all crave,
songwriters.
and really about songwriters and songwriting, and a great place to grow and a great place to
I've learned a lot
commune.
there.
And for those people, some people just really like to listen to music. It's the best. There's a concert every night, and then there's the after concerts that go till 4 a.m. So it's a wonderful place.
Can't wait to get back to things like that.
Yeah, I can't wait.
So the last bit about your record. So how did you go about? I mean, and I would just say, I'm asking, but I'm also, I would just say to you, already did it, but
Here it comes.
It's the challenge we all have. It's like, wait a second, I'm Shanna in a Dress, and I'm a folkie, and I was in New Folk and all these folk festivals, and so it's got to be folk music, and so I got to be careful not to venture too far out of that genre. On the other hand, I'm a singer and a songwriter, and I like what I like, and this is America, and it's a melting pot. So how constricted did you feel that you had to stay in the folk, and how far out of it did you stray?
Well, the funny thing is, even though all my friends are in this folk music community, I don't think my music is folk, like straight
Right.
up folk.
Right.
So,
Whatever that is.
Right.
right.
Straight up.
Well, actually, I have a genre classification of folk. I think it is storytelling acoustic music that lacks a hook. And like
interesting.
the second you put like some hookiness and
love it.
repetition in it, then you're like getting into the poppier territory.
Ooh, that's like really
That's great.
interesting,
I love
actually.
that.
I like that because it also, I just really resist genres in general because I feel like they're so limiting, and it's actually kind of nice to be like, wait, yeah, like maybe that's true.
Well, especially when you say
Remember
without a
that
hook,
one.
because all my songs have hooks, and I've often felt like I'm not quite accepted in the folk world. And if that's the
you're
reason,
you're
according
too
to
rock and roll, that's why.
but according to your definition, if that's the case, I'm proud of it.
Yeah, as we all should be. It's not a bad word, but definitely when people say like, I don't feel like you're totally folk, or you're like folk, I feel complimented. Because that's my
interesting.
my little judgment on folk. It's like, oh, beautiful storytelling, but is anyone going to be able to sing along to that like 70 word chorus that changed every time?
She tells it like it is. I like
Yeah.
it.
But I don't even know. What'd you ask me? Oh, the record. The record, I think, is a really good balance of not over the top folk pop. I call myself folk pop. That's not a thing, I guess, but whatever.
Well, you made it a thing, absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure many other people before me made it a thing, but that's it. I love like Ingrid Michaelson and Taylor Swift. Like my heroes aren't actually folkies, so that I don't know if that comes out in my music at all, but
I think so. That's great. I can't wait to hear it. So, okay, last question before Freebo plays a song, because I know you have this big tour coming up that you're doing, a cross-country biking tour, and I'm guessing it's related to your record. So before we do more music, and we will definitely end this first hour with some music, but please tell us about that so that folks know what you're up to.
Yes. Okay, so this summer, on an epic journey called Tour de Dress.
Which is amazing.
I love it.
I will be biking from the West Coast to the East Coast. And
Wow.
and then
With
there's actually
the wind, that's a smart idea.
with the wind. Yeah, yeah. I actually didn't think about that. I was just like, I'm closer to the West Coast. But we'll pretend I thought of that. And I have a support driver, and so I won't have my amp on my back.
Good thing.
Yeah, the route right now is that basically I'm driving, like doing a driving tour through you guys actually. So I'll go southwest from Colorado, then up the coast of California, and then my biking portion starts in Seattle. Crossing the country and ending toward the Boston area, and then driving down the East Coast and ending in North Carolina. And this is a big call to action, is that I am looking for shows. So
Awesome.
Anyone who wants to host a show can, because I'm going to have all the gear I need with me, and looks like the world's getting pretty vaccinated and hungry for live music, so I cannot wait. I just want to see people and play to real live bodies with people
That's
who
a
can
great
harmonize
idea.
in person.
I know. It doesn't count over Zoom. That's so awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, it's a
really
wonderful
cool.
idea.
It really is.
Very cool.
And it's so cool to feel like, I mean, that's such a great way to celebrate things opening up again. And just, I lived in Seattle and I'm from Boston, so I very much approve of your starting and ending points. That's awesome. I hope you're going to be also like ripped at the end of
No,
that.
you're in great shape.
I hope so, because I've gained like 10 pounds during the pandemic. So I'm
gonna
ready
be
to
gone.
bike it away.
No more. That's great. Well, so how can folks find out? Can they go to your website to find out about that?
Yes, SHANNAINADRESS.com. And then there's a bike tour button on the left. But if you have a good memory, you can remember SHANNAINADRESS.com/bike-tour-2021. And I'm looking for show hosts and people who want to ride along with me for a portion, and people who just want to contribute any connections along the way, so they can be as
You're going to be
affordable
like
as
Forrest
possible.
Gump.
Oh my gosh. So that's my favorite movie. And my
mine too.
greatest dreams, I like have this huge posse of people biking with me by the time I make it to the end, and someone that hands me a muddy towel, or a towel that I use to wipe away my face, and it has a smile on it. It's like, that was the perfect reference to make to me. Because
I love it. I'm so happy that, and by the way, if you do come through LA and I'm here, I'd love to go on just a little quick leisurely bike ride with you or something. I'd love to
I
meet
can
up, so
guarantee you
let us
every
know.
step of this journey is going to be leisure bike riding.
Awesome.
And if you want to do
Anytime.
a show together, we could even
Yeah.
talk
That would be
about
great.
that.
We can do that.
That'd be great.
And hopefully you're not going to schedule your gigs too close together in
Oh my
terms of
gosh, yeah. I hope
geography
you
and
give
the bike
yourself
riding.
time.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
going to be
who
interesting.
knows? Cross my fingers. The
Well,
routing.
we wish you the
works.
best, and we hope we'll certainly put it out there as much as we can, let
Yeah,
people know
thank
about
you.
it, and
It's
but
great.
it's a great idea.
Hey,
Thanks.
Freebo,
Play us a
we've got-
song.
Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
a few more minutes in this first hour. Let's let's try to get a couple more.
Well, we
songs
were
in, I
talking
think.
about the shooting in Boulder, and of course one of the first ones was Columbine. It always brings up gun violence and Second Amendment rights and all these things. And I want to share a song that I actually wrote. I wrote after 9/11. And unfortunately, I'm very proud when my songs continue to be apropos in some way, but also makes me sad if it's about some sort of a social event that has a negative, and unfortunately the same forces are at play that cause that to happen. So this is one of those songs. I originally wrote it about. I was afraid about payback, essentially, that if I'm trying to get myself in tune and talk at the same time. You
That's a
know
tough
that
one.
challenge, both you guys. But I was worried about the whole action reaction thing, that if we overreact, as the CIA calls it, blowback, what's going to happen on the other end. And sure enough, we did overreact, and it really changed the world in a very negative way. Not that 9/11 was a good thing, but so this song, unfortunately, I think is still relevant, and in terms of violence and anger and gun violence, and so take from it what you will, but and it's got to talk about a hook. When I go, stand up. The answer is stand up, stand up. I won't be able to hear you, but sing it out loud. Maybe you can help me out, Alice. Song is called Stand Up. Violence, blow 'em all away, long distance, make sure it's far away. Hatred, anything you say, you create your enemy. Suspicion, what's that up your sleeve? Tell me, just what do you believe? Information, it's just what you receive, your responsibility. Everybody, it's a brand new day. Ain't you tired of the same old way? Pay 'em back and soon you find an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Stand up,
Stand up.
be strong. Why take it? How long? Stand up,
Stand up.
be counted. Let your voice be sounded. Stand up,
Stand up.
and don't you be afraid. How long, how long, how long, how long? Anger, escalation, blues, ground zero. Anywhere you choose, spin it. Get it on the news, you'll know what they want you to know. Big brother, sleeping in your bed, big trouble, right upside your head. Big money, steal away your bread, take it right beneath your nose. Everybody, it's a brand new day. Ain't you tired of the same old ways? Pay 'em back and soon you find an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Stand up,
Stand up.
be strong. Why take it? How long? Stand up,
Stand up.
be counted. Let your voice be sounded. Stand up,
Stand up.
don't you be afraid. How long, how long, how long, how long? was it? Oh, yeah. Oh, glory, careful where you trod, old story, ain't nothing but a fraud. One nation, divided under God, is he always on our side? Everybody, it's a brand new day, ain't you tired of the same old ways? Pay 'em back and soon you find an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Stand up, be strong. Why take it? How long? Stand up, be counted. Let your voice be sounded. Stand up, and don't you be afraid. How long, how long, how long? How long, how long, how long? How long, how long, how long, how long?
Yes.
Nice, Freebo.
That's my statement.
Thank you for writing that.
Yeah, it's such a strong chorus. I just love that.
Thank you.
Powerful. Hey, Shanna, I feel like we should just go right into another song just before we
Yeah,
end
why
this
don't you take
hour.
us out?
Yeah.
And we'll end this hour in Asheville for our radio audience, and then we will
Keep going.
continue, right?
For
We'll
our
continue
viewing audience.
For the viewing audience.
Yes.
And again, if you want to support the show and support the artists, we'd really appreciate that. How they do that, Alice?
Yeah, the information is in the chat, thanks to Brandon, or you can also go to alicehowe.com/support to find out more. And thank you all to our listeners on WPVM FM.
In beautiful Asheville, North Carolina.
103.7 FM.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, thanks. I'm gonna
Please.
play one that I feel like is a weird, sad one to end a show on, but
It's not really the end. It's
more like
you
an
do what you
admission
want.
if you're coming to the after party.
right.
So, I don't think you'd heard this one, so I want to play it for you. This is a song I wrote for a woman named Shelley, who was paralyzed when she was 17 from a bad car accident. And I have been helping her as a caregiver for a long time, and she taught me a lot. And so I wrote this song for her. Mascara, lashes, get every last bit out of the tube. Blow her hair dry, it's so thick it takes forever to do. Fasten her wrist braces, medications on her tongue. Living in a chair makes morning care extra long. And I'd ask her, are you ready? Are you ready to go? Are you ready, Shelley? Are you ready to go? And she says, look down at your fingers. There's something I want you to remember. You got one to catch a ride to San Francisco, one to point when you're dancing the disco, one to lift when you get cut off, and one reserved for the one you love, and one to reach the tiniest notes on guitar. She'd say, I can't use my fingers anymore, but thank you for lending me yours. I arrive and Shelley has a cold. I push her stomach down to help her cough. In the middle of the night when she gets warm, I tiptoe into her room, pull her blanket off. She'd say, an unscratched itch is worse than pain. Try it yourself, see what you think. Shelley had a really itchy nose, and I look down at my fingers and do my best to remember. I got one to catch a ride to San Francisco, one to point when I'm dancing the disco, one to lift when I get cut off, and one reserved for the one I love, and one to reach the tiniest notes on guitar. She told me I can't use my fingers anymore, but thank you for lending me yours. Last night I got a call, 12 a.m. I learned that Shelley's on the other side, dancing and running her fingers through the sand. Oh, I've had a lot of jobs, but the one that changed me most was being Shelley's hands. She was ready to go. She was ready to go.
Beautiful, Shanna. Wow,
Beautiful.
That really is sad. No,
Yeah.
but that's a great thing to do. Is just take that emotion and put it into a song. And it turns out I don't have to have known the person in the song, but I certainly know the emotion, and I think that's what's conveyed with art, and what you just did, beautifully done.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Just gorgeous. I feel like every time I hear you, I learn a little more about how you are as a writer, because I think it's interesting. Maybe you've experienced this, but because you do write humorous songs, that's what people talk about with you. And like, you do have a stage name that's like, quirky and fun. And it's like, so do you feel like you get typecast at all because of that? Or
well,
thoughts
luckily,
about that?
I'm doing all my booking, so I can't typecast myself. But yeah, I mean, I think I choose it. It's actually a funny disconnect. I think most of the songs I write are like maybe mellow, feelings driven, serious songs. And maybe 25% of them like are a little goofy. But when I only get a small snippet of what I should share with people, I know that there's a lot of mellow acoustic singer-songwriter feelings-driven ballady songs already out there. And so I'm like, well, some of what I write is goofy, so I'll share that part. But it's still It's still easier to write a ballad.
Well, but I mean, part of I think our challenge and basically why we're here as singer-songwriters is to convey that part of ourselves. I mean, like who is Shanna in a Dress? You know, who is Alice Howe? Who's Freebo? And some people write songs always in the third person and about events, you know, the great shipwreck of 1847, which is all well and good, but
Definitely
to me,
a
the
folk
whole,
singer.
Yes, exactly. But the whole thing about a singer-songwriter is to share a part of yourself. Who are you? And I know, and at a show, I want people to leave having a better sense of who I am, and from the music, from the rap. And I think the more we expose ourselves, like you're talking about, the more genuine it is, and I think the more we connect. Right, Alice?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's just nice every time I hear a new song of yours. I'm like, wow, it's like it gets deeper every time, and it's really cool. It's another layer.
Yeah.
But I in a way I envy that you have that quirky side, because I have not. It's actually really difficult, I agree, to write more that way. It's easier to go with like the deep, full-on feelings, the ballads, for me for sure. And I don't know, maybe we could write something together sometime. You'd probably be a good influence on me.
Yeah, like the things I say, and actually, I didn't form this thought before I started speaking. Hold on. I definitely think you are funnier and quirkier than you know, and you have so many funny songs inside of you. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so my theory is you probably write silly, stupid, dumb lyrics, or you come up with things and then you immediately write them off.
Yes,
and so
that is accurate,
right?
Yes.
So if we co-wrote, I would be like, no, that line about the freckle on your butt was genius, you know?
Right. That is, I would love to do that. Let's write that freckle on your butt.
The freckle
song.
on your butt, yeah.
I would
beautiful.
love it.
And just so you know, Shanna, we're not on the air anymore in
Yeah,
Asheville, but
yeah,
we are
just-
still doing it. This is not the after party. We're going for another half hour.
We got another
So we want
20
people to know that.
minutes-ish.
And there's a couple of things we should tell them in terms of taking care of business.
Now that we can do our housekeeping and talk about stuff that we can't talk about on the radio. Maybe I told you this, Shanna, but you are going to be the lucky recipient of a premium instrument cable from Cordial Cables, which is our sponsor.
Thank you.
Yeah, so they are amazing cables. We use them in our whole setup here. They've been sponsoring the show for since the beginning, and we love them. Cordial Cables USA, and every week they are super generous and actually do a giveaway with us for the audience. So we
and to our guests. So
yes, but she doesn't have to be
no,
part of the game
but
show.
just
She
to know you're
gets
getting
one.
one and a T-shirt,
And a T-shirt, yes.
which you can wear over your dress,
Right.
or under it,
Or maybe you can get an XXXL and you can wear it as
Wear
a
it
dress.
as a dress, a t-shirt dress.
Yeah,
Yes, there you go.
belted maybe. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I heard that Shanna actually picked the number. So we picked a number between 1 and 100, and if you guys want to just put your guesses in the chat on Facebook or YouTube or Twitch, wherever you're watching, Brandon is keeping tabs, and he will pick and he will let me know who the winner is of tonight's giveaway. So.
And we can also say we couldn't really talk about money. We've mentioned before, but I'm going to be honest with you. I know a bunch of you folks are watching on Norma's Rare Guitar channel, and we appreciate it. We appreciate you watching, and we assume you enjoy the show because you keep watching. We see a lot of the same names in the chat. But what we really would appreciate is we need to make a living too. And if you really like what we're doing, you know, if you could throw something in the tip jar. I mean, you when you go to a movie, you have to pay something. So you don't have to, but we would really appreciate it. This is how we make a living. Just believe it or not, we pay the rent, we do everything. So if you're able, throw $5-10, you can do it. All the information is in the chat, and we know you're in the chat.
And
So
we thank you.
We thank you and we appreciate it, but we really would appreciate your support. It's a giving. It's
an exchange. It's a give and take.
It's an exchange.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
So put your guesses
Oh,
in
and
the
we
chat.
split that, by the way. That we split it, and we also have a charity
we
too,
have a charity
right?
every month,
Yeah.
and this month it's Planned Parenthood. So we're going to give a portion of all the donations to Planned Parenthood.
And just so you know, Planned Parenthood really is about women's health. It's not just about what you think it might be.
It's actually about health for all people. It's
Yeah.
not even just women.
Yeah, that's
It's about
true.
affordable, accessible health care, particularly for women and particularly reproductive health care, but they do provide really important services to people. So
Exactly. If you think there's too many people on this earth, contribute some money to Planned Parenthood.
Yeah, and I literally that Planned Parenthood is my doctor. So
Yeah.
you are really
I've been there
helping
too.
me pay my doctor bills when you are
Beautiful.
donating to Planned Parenthood.
I
they
love that.
do such
Great.
important work. Yeah,
Really
I've
do.
been in the same position too. It's one of those places that you go. So cool. That's all the housekeeping. We will choose the winner in a few minutes, and maybe I'll play a song in the meantime.
What song are you going to play?
I think I am gonna do. I think I want to do "You Just Never Know." This is a song from my last record. The album's called Visions, and it is out everywhere that you can stream music. Freebo and I worked on it together. That's actually how we began working together a couple of years ago. And Freebo produced this album, and we are now working on my second record. We're going to be recording it this summer in Muscle Shoals, Alabama at Fame Studios. Have so many new songs. I cannot wait
Great song.
to get back in there with the band. Although I did release a single recently, totally separately from the record. And if you want to check it out, it's my version of Joni Mitchell's song, A Case of You. And it's up on all streaming platforms as well, too. And Brandon can put that info in the chat.
It's a beautiful version.
This is an older song. It's becoming an older song.
Oh my God.
It was once a new song. You just never know. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm westward bound on the turnpike, and the sky's looking like rain. And the farther I go, the more sure I grow. I can't go back the way that I came. I passed the exit that led to my first love. I can't say where he's living now, but a lifetime ago I'd have taken that road just as fast as those turns would allow. Am I covering ground or just spinning my wheels? Have I got farther to go? Right around the next bend it may all be revealed, but the truth is you just never know. Oh, you just never know. To this road for my freedom, and I drove it from end to end, and it dumped me into the ocean, then it sent me right back again. Am I covering ground or just spinning my wheels? Have I got farther to go? Right around the next bend it may all be revealed, but the truth is you just never know. Oh, you just never know. I take it 1 mile at a time as I get up to speed along these white lines. I'm alone in the gathering night, adrift on a sea of little red lights. I've left in a hurry, and I've taken my time, driven blinded by love and by the tears in my eyes, broken down on the shoulder with no place to go
and I breezed through the night as I made my way home. Am I covering ground or just spinning my wheels? Have I got farther to go? Right around the next bend it may all be revealed, but the truth is you just never know. Oh, you just never know. Just never know.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Shanna.
I love the harmonies so much.
I know. I feel spoiled that we do get to keep singing harmonies together when all other artists online are solo usually. Yeah, it's really nice to be able to keep making music together and just to hear another voice next to you, you know? I want to ask you, Shanna, because we haven't really talked about this. You mentioned Taylor Swift and some other musical influences. And by the way, someone in the chat said that your songs are better than hers, which I
like that.
I don't disagree, but she is very cool.
My buddy Craig Van Winkle. Thank you, Craig.
It was a compliment.
Hey, Craig.
It was yes, it was definitely a compliment. And I'm wondering what kind of your musical upbringing was at home and like what you were raised on and just kind of how you got started on this path of being an artist. Love to hear about that.
I think in general, I listen to the least, I can't figure out how to grammatically say this, but I listen to the least amount of music than any musician I know, which, yeah, Freebo, you too?
I'm the same way. Continue, please.
It's weird. But at least I did when I was young. Like I remember listening to a lot of contemporary country in the car with my mom, and like poring over the lyric booklets of and I will defend country writing like to my grave, because I think that's probably where I fell in love with turns of phrases and like the everydayness, the conversationality of great songwriting.
Totally.
So that has stuck around. Like there was like a Shadazy album that I loved, and so yeah, contemporary country. And then, I don't know, I spent the 90s just listening to NSYNC and Britney Spears. Look, you can say like much higher brow people when you talk about your 60s and 70s influences. And I'm only just now, like for the last year, I've been doing a project where every month I study a new artist and like get to know their music, and I try to write a song in the style of them.
Wow.
And so
Great
I'm
idea.
like finally getting my musical education as and that a musician should have. But I mean, it's just NSYNC and Britney Spears.
You know, I really respect
I mean, I
that.
feel like I respect that too, because you're doing the work now and you're like invested in that, but also I'm sorry, just totally
please.
steamrolled you, but
No.
like the
I mean,
fact
yes.
that you came out the way you are as like a writer and an artist, having listened to that stuff, I think just speaks to your innate ear and like good, musical sense. Because that stuff I don't think of as like heavy. That's not like heavy music, but it's, and it's not like heavy songwriting, but there's, like you said, there's a lot of cleverness in pop writing and pop country. And yeah, I mean, I think.
Well, particularly in country, the turn of phrase
Takes all
is so good. But I tell you what, first of all, I totally relate to you. And especially when I started doing my songwriting thing 25, 30 years ago, I don't know if I intentionally did it, but somehow I didn't want to pollute my brain. I knew I had enough music in my head between Beethoven, Stravinsky, Louis Armstrong, John Philip Sousa, Leonard Bernstein, Rodgers and Hammerstein, Little Richard, Chuck Berry, Joni Mitchell, Bob Dylan, et cetera, that I didn't really, that I had all the influences, and I didn't have to keep listening to new stuff, because for me it wasn't about, okay, I'm going to write something that sounds like something that's on the radio so I can get on the radio, because that to me is bass backwards. That's outside in. I want to come inside out. I want to come from what's in my heart and write the best song I can. So like you, I didn't really feel like I needed any more influences, but I totally agree with you. I love what you're doing where you're saying, okay, I need to go, and I call it filling in the gaps. So you're saying, okay, I need to listen to more James Taylor, because I don't know that much, but boy, his music, and Bob Dylan, Joni Mitchell, whatever. I think it's a beautiful way to go about it, because this is a lifetime education, and it's really not the stuff you learn in school. It's what you learn on the road. It's what you learn by doing it, and it's the road we've chosen.
It's what you learn on the bike.
We learn on the bike, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah,
Makes sense?
definitely. And, when you were sharing about opening for John Prine on the Carsey Blanton show, I was maybe I should whip out, because I wrote and I'm going to say this and then tell you, no, I'm not going to play it. But my project is that I write a song in the style of whoever I studied. So I did a John Prine month and wrote a song in the style of him. And again, I'm not going to play it, but...
Would you play that song?
Yeah, so would you play that song?
Because I can't remember the second verse. I was thinking about it before it starts. I'm like, wait, I would have to relook at it. But I feel like I nailed it so much that I was like, I feel like this could be a real John Prine song. And so I just started lying to audiences and like playing shows and being like, this is a deep cut from John Prine's catalog. And like, you probably haven't heard it, but I'm such a fan that I have heard it. And I play it.
Hey, just wait till people go and say, I know that song. Nobody else ever covered that song. I'll guarantee you that.
Really? Yeah. Oh my God. Do they say like, I've only heard you do it? Or do they actually think they've heard it?
They didn't elaborate, but they were just like, oh, I think I've heard that one. And I was like,
oh my God, that is amazing.
We knew it would happen.
Congratulations.
Okay, so you're not going to do that song.
Okay, so you're not doing that.
What song are you going to do?
Yeah, what are you going to do to take us out here with before we do the after party? And I'll just mention, before you play the song, Brandon's going to put the Zoom info in the chat. We can't do the link because we get Zoom weirdness, bombers, hackers, with nothing better to do than to hack our after party, apparently. But we are putting the meeting ID and password in the chat, and you can just join us after about a 5-minute break. The show does keep broadcasting on Facebook and YouTube, so you can just keep watching where you are, but we'd love to see you in the after party and say hi.
I just saw that my good friend, and yours too, Mike Edwards, just finally, because he's been in there wanting to win this chord forever. Mike, you apparently guessed it right on the button, number
Mike
60.
Edwards, 50.
So
the number is
was
50.
it 50? So you and Shanna are exactly on the same wavelength.
On the wavelength.
And I'm so glad you won, because you've been such a wonderful supporter of me through the years, and since you've met Alice and of the show.
And
so
Mike has been guessing for like 29 weeks,
right.
and he finally got it. So thanks for playing, everybody.
The odds are with him.
I
right?
know.
Yeah.
You finally got it, Mike. So congrats. I know how to reach you. I'll be sure to get you the info. And
great.
thanks to Cordial Cables for being our sponsors. So cool.
So we're going to have...
Mike.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to have Shanna take us out with a song.
Yeah, and then we'll do a little
take a break.
intermission. Yeah, and then we'll come back for a little after party.
Yeah.
And people know how to come to the after party
We
and what
did.
it's all
Yep,
about
they
on
know.
Zoom. That's where we get a chance to see you, and you can ask us some questions and be
to
great.
hang out for half an
And
hour.
you get
so.
to meet Shanna.
And if you have a pretty dress, you can show me. No one ever does, but I think that's because I never have asked before. If you have a pretty dress, show it to me.
Okay. I love that.
The Shelley song that I played for you guys last round was on my live album, which I'm giving away for free to anyone who wants one over at SHANNAINADRESS.com.
Cool.
And that was my baby step into being scared of recording. I was like, I perform live all the time. Let's just record me live, and then I'll have something to give to people. So that technically is my first recording in the world, but it's not available on streaming platforms. Just I'll send it right to you if you let me know where to send it at shannaindress.com. But this next song that I'm going to take you home with is brand new, and I am trying to I'm trying to test it out on whatever audiences I can. So, like, thank you for letting me try out this new one on you.
That's very courageous, Shanna.
Well, courageous is my middle name.
Right between the Shanna and the Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was thinking about what I want to be like when I'm old, and I wrote this one. I hope when I'm old I play pranks on my children, curse like a sailor and walk marathons, drive a pink car or pay someone else to, and when the second hand slows I decide when I'm done. I hope that I bake chocolate cookies that can make anybody get weak in the knees. Then I can live on your tongue and in your tum. I'd make sure everyone gets the recipe. I hope every line on my face that I've earned reminds me of laughter and lessons I've learned. Like always, wear sunscreen and gray hair will come back in style. And when the topic of every day is about the state of my body aches, I hope I remember to think. Maybe those who left too young are watching us from beyond, whispering memories every day, saying you could be so sick of this, but I'd give anything to be with you and your creaky knees and daily pain. I hope my people's skills will be so sharp that when I lose my ears I can hear with my heart. When I lose my marbles it doesn't cause heartache. When I lose my wallet there's nothing left to take. I hope I fall in love with someone so sturdy I can wink at the mailman, never rein in my flirting. I hope that I'm healthy, but within reason. Sometimes ditch the salad, 'cause fries are in season. And when my friends start to complain about hardships of sun-ripened days, I hope I remember to say, maybe those who left too young are watching us from beyond, whispering memories every night, saying you could be so sick of this, but I'd give anything to be with you and your doctors and your failing sight. I hope when I think back on my time on earth that I don't give two shits what others think I'm worth. I hope by then that I'll know I'm enough and that I don't leave my kids with a house full of stuff. I hope I've seen Thailand and Egypt and Paris and that I have grandkids I get to embarrass. I want to be Betty White and the Maud to a Harold. I hope I get it on decades after I'm sterile. And when my friends start to complain about hardships of sun-ripened days, I hope I remember to think. Maybe those who left too young are watching us from beyond, whispering memories every night, saying you could be so sick, you see, but I'd give anything to be you and get a little more time. Ooh.
Beautiful.
I call that, I've got several different categories of songs that I do, one of which is life songs, and that's definitely a life song. It's really beautiful, beautifully written.
Yeah.
And thanks for sharing that.
Your voice is beautiful, Shanna. It's just, you have great pitch, and it's so pleasant to listen to.
Very sincere.
Yeah.
Thanks. That's so nice of you to say, because I, like, every syllable you sing, I'm like, oh, how does Alice do that? Just vocally. It's I could just swim in your sound.
Thank you.
So thank you for saying that.
That's my pleasure, and I mean it. And I always resonate with singers that I just believe, when they sing, and I believe you, because you're just being real. That's what really hits me. So
important. And I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
The most important thing.
Thanks. I think the secret is just make most of your songs insanely autobiographical.
Then you have to mean it. Yeah. Yes.
It's easy to be believable when it's true.
Oh my gosh. That's beautiful. Well, thank you, Shanna in a Dress, for being our guest on Inside Live. This has been great. We're so happy you could do it.
You sure are. And we'll see you in the after party.
Yes, we'll see you in about 10 minutes.
Whoever chooses to come with us. Mike Edwards, I hope you show up. Great to see the smile on your face, not having won the chord.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Well, we'll see you guys in a second. I'm going to put up some background music and go get a drink of water. We'll be back to say hi in just a few minutes. All right.
Awesome.
See you guys soon. Every night I have the strangest dream. All these ghosts are talking to me. Lay down in my bed and I can hardly sleep. These homeland blues have got a hold of me. Well, I went over to my cousin's house to see if we couldn't figure it out. He said it's plain to see you got them homeland blues. What hope have I got if what you're saying is true? And I got them homeland blues. Don't you know I got them homeland blues? Said I got them homeland blues. Honey, pull over, I got them homeland blues. Sooner I book my ticket, the sooner I'll come running back to you. I asked my mother, do you know what I mean? And she could hardly look up at me. Eyes to her paper and I knew she had them too. Eyes on her coffee and I knew she had them too. Have you ever missed something that you never even had? You're down so low and you feel so bad. That's when you know you got them homeland blues. That's when you know that you got them homeland blues. And I got them homeland blues. Try to tell you I got them homeland blues. Said I got them homeland blues. Honey, pull over, I got them homeland blues.
the sooner I book my ticket, the sooner I'll come running back to you. Distracted from the night we had, sat down on the curb, nursing my homeland blues. Down on the curb and I'm nursing my homeland blues. My American soul gets lonely sometimes. I take a walk and it clears my mind, and I'll hold you tight to shake my homeland blues. Hold on tight just to shake my homeland blues. Then I got them homeland blues. Don't you know I got them homeland blues? Said I got them homeland blues. Try to tell you I got them homeland blues. Is where I left it, the sooner I'll come running back to you.
Would go to my new little four-legged friend. Now she loves my dog more than me. She loves my dog more than me. I love my dog and she loves my dog, but she loves my dog more than me. Suddenly, to my chagrin, as the fire got to stoking, came a cold nose a poking somewhere it should not have been. Oh.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
Hi again.
Hey.
Hey.
We see
Hey, Bob.
you. Wait, we're supposed to put our headphones on. In case
Alan.
Oops, I don't have mine.
Philly Don. Bob
Sue.
Kelly. Good to see you,
Tony
Bob.
Toledo, the storyteller.
Carolyn.
Oh my gosh,
Joe.
what a treat. Hi, Storm.
Angela.
Hi, Bob Kelly.
Storm.
Angela. Hi, Alan.
Tony.
Don. Hey.
Sue.
Janice. Steve.
Smoke Steve.
Oh my God, we're just going to read everyone's name. This
Yeah,
is great.
well, we're just acknowledging everybody.
And Shanna. Oh my God, Shanna in a dress.
Shanna in a dress.
Is that you?
It's me. It's me and my sweet potato.
Oh my gosh, your sweet potato. Is that your snack?
Yeah. I was like, ooh, I have a little bit of a headache. I think I need to eat. Luckily, I have had a
Ah.
sweet potato left over from my lunch.
Oh,
And
good.
since you guys made it to the after party, you get to see what happens behind the scenes, which is I just bite potatoes.
Uh-huh.
I gotta say, I've been a fan of sweet potatoes lately. I've been steaming them.
Healthy things.
They're so
As long as
good.
you don't put too much butter on them.
So satisfying.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to see you all. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for continuing to watch and be a part of our show, y'all. I do want to mention our guest next week. Our guests, plural. It's the 5th Wednesday in March, and as our final all-female artists of March, Women's History Month, we have 2 amazing performers, Heather May and Chris Matthews. They are fellow roster mates on our Fleming Artists roster. They are both really strong social justice songwriters and singers, and they do a great show together. And Chris actually has a new record that's number 4 on the NACC folk radio chart. So we're just, and Heather's been coaching me in like social media and marketing. She's just brilliant. They're both great.
She's so good at that stuff.
Yeah, highly recommend Heather May for all of your social media needs. When Shanna, you were like, Alice, your content is like really on point the last couple of weeks. I was like, it's literally all attributable to Heather May. So
She knows what she's doing.
yes,
Content
she
is on
does.
point. I
She
love it.
does. I wanted to just answer one question from Vincent because he's got such a good eye. He noticed my shirt. So yes, I am wearing my Ernie Ball shirt, Vincent, and I am so excited because tomorrow I'm picking up my brand new electric guitar that has arrived. Thanks to Freebo connecting me with the folks at Ernie Ball Music Man, who you've worked with for many years.
50 years.
Just a few years, 50. And so I have my brand new Valentine electric guitar that is so beautiful, and I'm picking it up tomorrow. So I thought I'd wear my shirt to celebrate. That's all. Just
Yeah.
want to share that.
Yeah.
I'll be playing it next week on Inside Live.
Hey, I gave you that shirt because it's too small for
well,
me.
it's my shirt now.
It is your shirt. I gave it to you.
Thank
you
you for
don't
giving
give
me
something
the
and then
shirt
take
for
it back. Yeah. No, just so you know, this Ernie Ball guitar, Ernie Ball, I got to share it for you. Ernie Ball was as important a figure in rock and roll as Leo Fender and Les Paul. Ernie Ball was a musician. He played pedal steel guitar, and he was on the road for many years. And after he had his 3rd kid, he decided it's time to get off the road, and he opened up a music store in the Valley here in Los Angeles. And he would have various friends of his, musicians, who would say, hey, Ernie, could you send me a set of strings? In those days, there were only gut strings or steel strings. That was pretty much it, guitar strings. So he had one of his clients who said, Ernie, would you send me a set of guitar strings, but instead of the B string, could you send me whatever string from a banjo? So this became, let's just call this guy John. So this was Johnny's particular set with the banjo B string. And then somebody else heard about it. Hey, could you send me the same set you sent John? And somebody else said, hey, do me a favor. I want a B string from a banjo, another string. And Ernie got the idea that different guitar players want different gauge guitar string. There was no such thing as gauge. So Ernie, and I got to know Ernie, I feel very proud of that, was a very meticulous kind of a guy. And he decided that what he was going to do is he was going to invent and create guitar strings with micrometer readings, 0.009, 0.10, 0.11, all the way up to whatever, so that you would have particular gauge. So he came up with the concept of having different gauge guitar strings, light gauge, medium gauge, heavy gauge, and everything in between. And he got the patent for that. And so every guitar string that's ever been made, I think for however long the patent lasts, for 70 years, has to go through Ernie Ball's patent. So there are other guitar companies who now make it, but there'd be no Jimi Hendrix, there'd be none of the guitar shredders who play, because their strings before Ernie came were just really heavy West Montgomery type of guitar string. So he was as influential as a fellow like Leo Fender, Les Paul. And so what happened was, at one point, of course, he and Leo Fender, they all lived in the same area, were friends. And Leo, when he sold Fender to CBS, and I think it was 1967, said, okay, we will buy Fender and we will own it, but Leo, you can't make any more Fender guitars. So Leo said, okay, I'll make my own brand. I'll start this company called Music Man. And eventually, the bass that I play, this is a Music Man bass, and Music Man gave this to me, and I've known them for many years. They actually gave me the 15th bass they made. I'm very proud of that. And then eventually, Ernie Ball and his son Sterling bought the company because the one partner went broke. He made a mistake. He started making everything out of graphite. It didn't hold on. So now it became Ernie Ball Music Man, and that's how I became involved with them. And so the guitar that she has, the Music Man guitar, is an Ernie Ball Music Man, and it was designed by Ernie's son Sterling, who runs the company now. And so she came up, and we just kind of mentioned, we look at all sorts of guitars, and Alice came up with her particular color. What color green is it called?
It's just this. It's called Charging Green.
Charging
it's a really
green.
nice green.
It's really cool.
Can't wait.
And so now she's going to be an electric guitar player. So I hope thanks for indulging me with that little story there. So there you go. In case you don't know who Ernie Ball is, you ever see Ernie Ball guitar string or anything, know that Ernie Ball was huge in that whole thing. And you have your guitar. Were you going to play a song? You going to do that?
I am. Yeah, I was just thinking. I want to do. Getaway Car.
Oh my gosh.
Because I feel like it's an appropriate song to sort of try to get to on Shanna's level of like
that's great
joy and quirkiness.
Yes.
Keep going. Vamps are ready.
I've been working so hard with nothing to show. It's time for a change. Why don't we get up and go? I'm making a break. Won't you be my partner in crime? We'll get away fast and get away far. Get away clean in my getaway car. My motor is moaning, so come on inside. Buckle up, baby, I'm ready to ride. It's cozy and warm in my 5-speed shining machine. Yeah. Well, get away fast and get away far. Get away clean in my getaway car. If we get a flat tire, I still got a plan. We'll jack it up slow, you can give me a hand. And it ain't no hurry, I don't mind taking my time. We'll get away fast and get away far. Get away clean in my getaway car. If you don't like it, baby, you got me to blame. But I guarantee we'll be so glad you came. I said you'd be so glad. Freebo? Well, there's no destination. It's all about the ride. Whatever you need, you know I'll provide. Keep an eye on the road and keep the other eye on me. Well, get away fast and get away far. Get away clean in my getaway car. My getaway car. I got a full tank of gas.
Thanks, y'all.
Nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Felt like it was the right time to bring that baby out.
That was
You know-
smoky. I liked it.
Thank you. That's one that on the record is like crazy big production, and it took me a long time to figure out how the heck to play it just on my guitar. And I think we finally got it with a little bit of a different groove. But
A whole different group.
when we wrote that song together, I had the experience, Shanna, that you were describing of being like, oh no, my idea, that's way too silly, it's too much. And Freebo was like, no, it's perfect. Like, go with it. So
Yeah, we had a lot of fun writing that. We just said, okay, let's just riff on
Yeah.
every possible double entendre we can come up with, and a lot of fun.
yeah.
Those are
Do you
the
have
best.
another song you want to share with us, Shanna, before we?
I do.
Yeah.
And I was like private messaging both Alan and Neil to get song requests, and I loved everything you guys said, and now I'm going off on my own. I'm like, oh, actually, I want to play this one. But I was thinking, ooh, now that we're backstage, I can do a very not radio friendly song.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely. Anything you damn well please.
But exactly what you just said of like, oh, this is silly. I wrote this song while recording my album, and I came into the studio and was like, I wrote this last night. It's just whatever. And got the reaction that we all hope to have to a new song, which was, are you kidding? We need to record that. This needs to go on the album. And so this story, actually, Neil, it's not the Booby song. The Booby song's already on the live album. But the story behind this is that my boyfriend at the time, I was like complaining about what a shit show I am. And he said, yeah, but you're a shit show on the outside. And on the inside, you're solid. And most people are the other way around. And I'd rather have your kind any day. And I was like, that is so sweet. And I've never had like my anxiety over my shit showiness like calmed to such a degree as that one statement gave me, that I was like, I better capture this moment in a song. And it became this shit show song.
I love it.
Which is going to be on the debut record. There's a banana peel under the brakes in my car. A pile of red hair still on your shower wall. A big stack of checks I've yet to deposit. Dirty clothes starting to smell in the corner of your closet. You're clean, pristine, and oh so sweet. Are you sure you're okay with me? But you say I wear my shit show on the outside. It's not the kind I try to pretend to hide. Others, you know, are volcano eruptions after you've already chosen to trust them, and you'd rather handle a shit show you can see. Babe, I'm so glad that you see that in me. I'm barefoot on blacktops and my dirty feet clash fantastically with your satin sheets. I leave the lights on and the fridge door ajar. Do you have my spare? 'Cause I locked my keys in my car. You have got your systems, and I think I caused the glitch in them. But you say I wear my shit show on the outside. It's not the kind I try to pretend to hide. Others, you know, are volcano eruptions after you've already chosen to trust them, and you'd rather handle a shit show. You can see, babe, I'm so glad that you see that in me. I'm a bunch of gifts with coal in your stocking, and you're cleaning up the toilets I'm clogging. You know I'm a mess, but you know what you're getting. Honest, imperfect, but promise I'll stick to my word. Haven't you heard? I'm a shit show, but you bought tickets, babe. You're in the first row to this shit show. Oh, I know you ain't complaining, 'cause you get to see me naked.
Oh, what appropriate last
Shanna,
line.
when you killed me right at the end with you bought tickets and you're in the first row. That is just that was brilliant. Thank you. I'm really glad that made the record.
Thanks. I wanted to title the whole record after it. That got nixed.
Oh my goodness.
Now, how did you produce that song? I mean, what'd you have on that? What was the feel? Honest.
It sounds like vaudeville.
Oh, I could totally hear that.
That makes sense.
I could hear like a
Right. I'm like, I don't think it has a trombone. It might have tuba.
Oh, I hope so.
Yeah.
I love that. I love it. That's
it might have been a
great.
baritone, whatever. Close enough.
Well, yeah.
Next time you do one, at least you know a tuba player to call.
True.
I know, I will. Are you like a sick tuba player too? Like crazy good?
Sick? No, I'm not crazy good. I just when I play the tuba, it makes people smile.
But tell her what this. Who was it that said to you? You could be. Really...
Oh, okay.
I love this.
There's a wonderful musician. You know who Taj Mahal is, right? Taj Mahal had a band at one point. It was I think it was his fourth record. It was a tuba band. It was a huge horn band, and there were four tubas on it, and the lead tuba player was a guy named Howard Johnson. And Howard Johnson was in the Saturday Night Live band for a long time. He usually played baritone sax, but sometimes tuba. And when Bonnie, when the band, we did Saturday Night Live, and one of the songs we did was a song that I had played tuba on the last record. So we decided to do that song, and so I didn't have a tuba in L.A. and we're in New York, so I asked Howard if I could borrow his tuba, and he said yes. So I went to Howard's apartment earlier, I guess the day before, and I was just playing the horn a little bit, and he gave me the strangest compliment. It was like the most backhanded, left-handed compliment that I've ever gotten. It was really a motivational kind of thing. He said, "You know, Freebo," he said, "you could be a great tuba player if you practiced." Which is just saying that I can tell that you don't practice and you're not great, but you have the ability. But come on, man, you know. So.
And did you?
No, I didn't. I didn't. There are too many other things to do, you know. How many instruments can you really focus on? And then the pile keeps coming in, and you have to deal with the pile and the mail and the bills. And
I could relate to some of that,
and
Shanna, in your song. I was like, man, those checks piling up, things like that. It's those little things. Maybe it's also being home more. I don't know if y'all have experienced this, but being in your space more, you start to see all the stuff that you let slide, that you, if you travel or you go to work, it's like, I'll do that when I get home, but it's like, oh my God, it's staring me in the face all day.
Piles this big by the time you get
Oh
home.
my goodness.
I don't know. I can get there in like one day in a hotel room. It's like it spreads everywhere. It's bad.
Oh my goodness.
Well, you're not going to be able to have a very big pile on your bike going across country.
It's true.
I have a support car.
Right. So is that cheating? I feel like that's so nice. Do you have to carry anything? I know it's not cheating. You're still biking, but
Yeah. It's just practical. It keeps me alive.
yeah. Right. No, that would be insane. You'd have to have like a sidecar. You'd be dragging like 50 pounds or more. That'd be crazy.
And Shanna, I was going to ask you, so you're talking about the route that you're going to take going cross country for the tour part, for the gig part, essentially from Seattle to Boston, which is Route 90 pretty much. But I assume you're going to make some detours.
Yeah, I want to come back through Colorado.
Oh, wow.
So at some point you're going to, I'm wondering if anybody who's on the chat here might be willing to say, hey, I'll host you when you come through, or have some sort of an outdoor thing. How are you gonna set that up? How are you gonna, because obviously you're gonna ask people if they can host you, do shows for you. Mm-hmm. How are you gonna do that?
Well, I have this handy dandy host a show form, and
cool.
basically anyone who fills it out, Brandon just put it in the chat. I play connect the dots between things, places that are viable. Mm-hmm. And I'm really like, it's pretty house concert focused. I haven't been reaching out to venues at all.
Yeah.
That's smart, I think.
I think that's smart. I agree.
Yeah.
House concerts are great. They're the best. A lot of folks on here know that, either because they've hosted or I've met people there, and yeah, that's such a supportive community. And while we're talking about tours, I just want to say, because our friend Joe is watching and Joe's in Chicago, we are officially also going on the road this summer. And Joe, we're going to be doing Folk Stage in Chicago on June 26th. So we will see you there, and we're going to be at Jack's outside of DC, and
That's right.
maybe we'll pay a visit to Mike
well,
Edwards.
we'll
and
Jack's
we're
in
going to visit
Philadelphia.
Don in Philly, and we're going to be in New England too. So I'm really excited to get that underway. We're going. Ours is not by bike. I'm recording my record with Freebo and with a band in Muscle Shoals, Alabama. So we thought, you know what, just feels safer to drive than to fly. And so we thought, what the heck, let's.
Yeah,
Let's make a tour out of
we'll
it,
be at
so.
Bob's Wicks in
Bob,
DC,
right? Yes,
outside
that's
DC,
right. Bob was
and
on
we'll be
here.
at Jack's in outside of Philly in Westchester. Hey, Jack, how you doing?
Yeah.
Looking forward to
So
that. It's going to
that'll
be cool.
great. Yeah, I just wanted to mention that. Did you want to play a song, Freebo?
Not necessarily.
Oh.
I mean, unless somebody has.
Do you want to get your tuba?
Unless somebody has a request.
Does anyone have a question or a request? Oh, actually, Mike had a request of you. He
What?
did put one in the chat.
What was it?
He said that yesterday was the anniversary of, 9th anniversary of Eric Lowen's passing yesterday, and he was hoping that you could play the song that you wrote to him, Something to Believe.
I didn't write to him. I wrote it with him.
That's what I said.
Yes. No, thank you, Mike. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. And congratulations on finally winning the chord. That's great. Hey, I mean, it just a persistence, There's nothing like it. Should be an incentive for all you folks. Just keep tuning in. Someday you'll win a chord as well.
You guys, I played Folk Stage a few weekends ago, and they have you play a set for the radio, and a set for the audience, and they gave me the same spiel you guys gave me of like, this is gonna be on the radio, so like keep your language clean,
right?
And I felt shockingly stifled. Like, I was like, can I play That's Hot? I don't know. Like, I was like, can I play Wanna Go Out? There's no bad words in it, but it still feels too saucy. I don't want to get in trouble.
I know. I had the experience when I did it a couple years ago of just the anxiety of the time being so. Did you experience that? Like he comes up to you and he's like, "You have 28 minutes and 37 seconds," and it was like, and instead of like just waiting until the end to see how much time I had left, I tried to like time it out the entire time as it was happening, which is a terrible idea because there's no way that's gonna work out the way you think it is. So
Yeah, that's hard.
anyway, Freebo.
Well, for those of you who don't know, Eric Lowen was one half of the duo Lowen and Navarro. Dan Navarro is still alive and well and kicking and doing his own stuff, but they were together for, gosh, Mike, at least 20 years, right? I guess so. And a wonderful duo. They wrote songs together. They wrote a hit song for Pat Benatar. What's it called?
We Belong.
We Belong. We Belong. They wrote that. So Dan is still getting mailbox money, and Eric's family is. But along the way, and my story is I'm part of this Christmas choir in L.A. It's a bunch of fairly well-known musicians and singers, and we get together every Christmas and we sing 4-part a cappella Christmas carols. I love Christmas carols. I know all the bass parts. And,
I got to join last year, and it was
you did,
or
yeah.
the year before, I guess.
Yeah.
It was so fun. I love being an alto.
No, you're a good alto too.
Thank you.
That's the harmony. Usually the toughest parts to sing, the alto parts. So we sing at children's hospitals and at prisons and various things like that, and Screen Actors Guild home for retired people. And we were at rehearsal, and Eric was there, and Eric had a cane. And I said, "Hey, Eric, what's going on?" Eric was this big, strapping-looking, very handsome, blonde, Nordic-looking guy. I thought maybe he had hurt himself playing basketball. I said, "Eric, what's going on?" He said, "Well, I found myself kind of tripping and falling. I didn't know what was going on, so I went to a doctor, and he didn't quite know what was happening. So I went to another doctor, and that doctor said, 'I think you have ALS, which is Lou Gehrig's disease, which is not a very good diagnosis. It's a death sentence.' So he went and had a second opinion on that and found out that he did in fact have Lou Gehrig's disease. And I just went, "Wow, what's your diagnosis?" And he said, and I loved Eric, and he was so honest. I said, "I'm going to die." He said, "I don't know when, He said, "but it's just going to happen very slowly." And I like to go deep. So I said something like, "Are you scared?" He said, "Yeah, of course I am, but I'm just going to deal with it one day at a time." And turns out about halfway through his challenge, a few years into that, I went to Eric because I was just really thinking about it. And I was watching how he was losing things bit by bit. Basically what it does, it attacks your nervous system pretty much from the ground up. So at first you start tripping and falling, and you get to the point where you can't walk, but you can still do other things. And I went to him about halfway through and I said, "Eric, I'd love to write a song with you. I can only imagine what you're going through." And so this song is really very much, I'd say probably 75% Eric's lyrics and maybe 75% my music, but I'm very proud of the co-write and where it went. And in this, there's no solution. He's really just asking these questions. He's wondering what it's about. But I think the lesson that he eventually learned was about acceptance, which to me is a huge life lesson, just with a capital A, because, things, if they're happening, they're happening. If it's raining, it's raining. And if you don't like the fact that it's raining, too bad. But once you accept it, you get to a place of serenity, of peace. And so for Eric, he was searching for that, and he finally found it. And in that, and Mike, you know that so well. And in his challenge of finding that peace, he became almost a saint. I mean, he became so inspirational to all of us who knew him, because the way he dealt with the challenge. And when he couldn't walk, he was still grateful he could play the guitar. And he held on to that. And when he could no longer play the guitar, he was grateful he could still sing. And when he couldn't sing anymore, he was grateful he could still talk. And finally, at the end, apparently on his deathbed, I was not there, on his machines and everything, and now he's communicating just with his eyes. He just finally said, "I'm done." Like, turn off the machines. I'm ready to go. And it's just very, like I said, just inspirational, heroic character. And I think maybe his best moments were in his dying. I don't know. He wrote some great songs, but I'm very proud of this one. It's called Something to Believe. There's a secret hides in kindness I have yet to understand, and a peace that I'm afraid I'll never know. Bless my heart, take my hand, lead me to the promised land. I'm pretty sure that's where I need to go. If I could pray and move a mountain, if I could dance and bring the rain, if love really made the world go round, and if drinking from a fountain couldn't make me young again, would it open up my eyes to just how easy it would be if I could only find something to believe? There is mystery in silence every time I close my eyes. There's a mighty voice I wish that I could hear. Lift me up, bless my soul, let the Spirit take control, and let it wash away my every fear. If I could pray and move a mountain, if I could dance and bring the rain, if love really made the world go round, and if drinking from a fountain couldn't make me young again, would it open up my eyes to just how easy it would be if I could only find something to believe? And when it's finally time for me to leave this life behind, sooner than I might wish it would be, will I hear the angels sing? Will it stop my wondering? Will I finally feel like I am free? If I could pray and move a mountain, if I could dance and bring the rain, if love really made the world go round, and if drinking from a fountain couldn't make me young again, oh, would it open up my eyes at just how easy it would be if I could only find something to believe. Oh God, if I could only find something to believe. Thanks for asking, Mike. Appreciate it.
Beautiful. What a great song.
Thank you. Tough song to sing.
Yeah, I really I mean, I've heard that song many times, but I feel like I really just got it for real. It hit me.
Well, I think the story is really important because it's a universal story. I mean, shit happens.
Yeah.
It happens, and it's a question of how you deal with it, right? It's what life's all about. You
like,
just never know. Well, it's just your song.
Right. Well,
you
it's like
just
what
never
happened
know,
in
right?
Boulder. It's like what happened with the woman that Shanna was talking about with the car accident. Like, yeah, it's there but for the grace of God, as you said. Does anybody have a question or want to say hi just in our last 10 minutes or so? Just raise your hand. Hi, Neil.
Hi.
Neil Braverman in Boston. I saw your very cute, was it a dog or a cat or a raccoon? I don't know.
That's Apache.
This is Apache. Yes, he's a very big fan of Shanna's.
Oh
and,
my God.
He's been a very good boy. But I just want to say a couple of things. Number one, Freebo, that co-write that you just did was so stunning. And it was so beautiful, and your harmonies were just fabulous and so touching. And
Thank you.
Thank you for doing that. Number one, and your songs are just so beautiful. And Freebo, we met many years back when you were playing with Bonnie in Boston, and I believe we met in Boston a long time ago as well. But I did have a special message for you, Freebo, from our dear friend Janet Lerner from Israel, who was watching, who was in the house until her time, 3 a.m. But she asked me if I was going to be at the after party, if I would please let you know that you're always welcome at her home, and anytime in Israel, you're welcome to come back. So I promised her I would do that, and I just did it. So thank you both for making this whole night possible. And of course, Shanna, I love you, and I know your bike trip is going to be so successful. And once you get up this way, we're going to have a whole bunch of places for you and your car driver, plenty of places for you to play and venues. And I'm going to get more on that very shortly.
Thanks, Neil.
Just make it safe and do the right thing at the right time. And thank you guys, all of you, and I have to say, of course, Brandon O'Sullivan for doing a fabulous job, as he always does.
Yeah, he is.
Yes,
Thank you,
does.
Brad.
Thank you,
Hey,
Brad.
Neil, I just want to say thank you. And Shanna actually mentioned that about Janet, and that's what we're talking about. Obviously, Janet Lerner.
Yeah.
So thank you for spreading a message, and thanks for all the kind words.
Thank you, Neil.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Newton, so it's nice to see that you're from where I'm from.
That's it. That's right. And I'm not too far from there. And,
I bet.
And I have many friends there and that come to
That's
my own
great.
open mic. So thank you. I don't want to take up everybody's time, but
No.
Neil, are you on either one of our email lists, by the way?
I'm not. So I would love. I mean, I've heard every Monday afternoon. I think Christine Lavin can't stop talking about you, Freebo. So
And she loves Alice's voice. She
she
just
does.
think Alice is the best voice ever.
and just last Monday she mentioned this concert. So and then
Oh, thank
when
you.
I got Shanna's note this evening or this afternoon,
Great.
That's great.
I couldn't not be here.
Well, Neil,
Oh,
do me a
great.
favor. Email me. My email is freebo@freebomusic.com. So I can put you on my email list, and
I
if
would
it's
love
okay,
that.
we'll put you on
We'll
Alice's
do that.
too.
Please do that.
Because we're going to be in Boston. We're definitely going to. I don't know. We're definitely going to do some shows there, and it would be great to see you in person.
Yeah.
Really would.
Oh, that'd be
Great.
wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited and
Thanks, Neil.
thanks so much.
Yeah.
Thank
so it's
you.
Freebo at
It's in the chat. It's in the
freebomusic.com.
chat.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Thank you, Brandon.
Thank you, man.
You're
Thanks,
amazing.
Brandon.
And I want to say hi to Hakmoni because we have
Hakmoni!
another friend who's in
From
Israel.
Israel.
What time is it right now?
Wait a minute. I got to unmute.
No, you are
You're
unmuted.
unmuted. You're cool.
We have
no,
that
you
power.
just muted.
Oh.
Now
Hi
you're
there.
unmuted. Perfect. Hey, how you doing?
Well, I went to bed at
Hi.
12 o'clock, And I sat there for 3 hours, and I said, "Hey, Freebo's online. I'm gonna have to, get onto the show here." So
Great.
yeah, we haven't gone to the jump on the clock yet. So that's this Friday. So you're 9 hours. You're 9 hours. So people
Only
who are on
9?
the other side of the world can watch you in the middle of the morning. Anyhow, I couldn't sleep, so I wanted to see you guys. And
We're
I
happy
really
to be
agree with
here
what you were
for
talking
you.
about songwriting, because, I was in that. I isolated myself when I started writing music, and tried to make my own way. And I really relate to what you guys were talking about earlier in the main show. It's really awesome. I wrote a song like 8 years ago, and it's called "There's a Light at the End of the Tunnel," and it was before the covert thing. So I mean, it's really great for people who are writing a lot of songs about what's happening here in Israel. The elections, they're still counting the votes. What can you say? But we're opening up. We're going to have our first concert out in the park next week here in
Really?
Jerusalem.
Great.
Yay.
Yeah, everyone's excited about that. It's been almost 14 months we've been locked down 3 times. 3 times we went through lockdown, and they're opening up the airport. They're opening up the airport.
Hakmoni, when you get locked down, do you have the political dissonance about it that we have here, or do people just pretty much accept it? I'm curious how that works politically.
Yeah, well, with the ultra religious people, they have their big funerals and their big weddings and everything, and they have a lot of problems with the spreading of the virus in the ultra orthodox neighborhoods. So they're the red area. You don't go to those areas, and there were problems with the Arabs for a while with weddings as well. But pretty much most of the people followed the instructions. I was locked up for like 3 months, didn't go out my front door. So, but it's a problem with work also. I do a lot of work on the internet with research, so I was able to make money through my research. But as far as going out and doing physical work, we're getting out of it. We're excited. The elections are crazy, but we're going to the malls. The airport's open now, so people can fly in and out. And things are getting better. There's a light at the end of the tunnel.
Oh, that's great. I just want to say, and thank you for tuning in, man. I was wearing my Jacob's Ladder shirt just yesterday.
Excellent.
And I said, look, Alice, and my name is on it, and your name is on it.
Your name is
I
on
said,
the back.
look, Hakmoni's on the back of the shirt.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Was I
the next
performing
day,
that year?
You were doing stage managing, I think.
Okay. Sometimes I get my name twice, when I perform and when I'm a stage manager. So sometimes two times you see me.
Yeah.
That's great.
Hey, great to see
Thanks
you,
for
man.
coming
Thanks
on.
for
It's
showing
nice
up.
to
Really
see you.
appreciate
I
it.
just figured out the Zoom. I downloaded it about 2 weeks ago, and it's exciting to be on the show with you guys. You guys are wonderful.
Beautiful.
Love
Thank
your
you.
music. Love the new lady over there on the left there on my screen.
Shanna. Shanna.
With
Yes.
the dress, the lady with the dress. Yes.
Yeah,
She's
and lastly,
lady with the dress.
please give my love to Janet, would you?
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey,
Bye-bye.
I think bye Hakmoni. Thank you. I think Angela had her hand up, her little emoji hand. Angela, do you still have something you'd like to say?
She got a big A up there. Hope it's not for
Hi.
adultery.
She's got the
Gosh,
scarlet letter
no.
A.
Oh goodness,
Welcome.
no. Thank you. I just wanted to say, for someone who's I've wanted to do a Case of You for a cover.
Uh-huh.
So what do you have for like tips and something to, as like an acoustic guitarist, to be able to work on?
Wow. Whew. That's, it's definitely a hard song to do. And I think any Joni song comes with a lot of, like, rightfully so, some like expectation and baggage of like, how can you do justice to her brilliance? So I think the process of covering any song to me is about figuring out how to make it your own and not to try to imitate her, because you can't,
Right.
but to just figure out where it feels right to sing it. And for me, that meant taking it down 2 full steps from where she sings it, because I just don't have that high of a range. And that made it more possible for me to sing it more like me, you know? So, and the guitar part I learned
Long time ago.
as a kid. I learned it when I was 14 years old at summer camp from a summer camp counselor. So I'm sure there's a lot of
Wow.
different ways to play it. Yeah, but it actually, the way I learned how to play it is quite similar to someone taught me how to play Blackbird also, and it's very
It's a
similar.
similar kind of a thing. It's
That's
really
another one.
well,
Yeah.
it's really 2 notes at a time. They're called tenths,
Yeah.
which is really a third, but an octave apart. But it actually, and the way Alice learned it, because this was done on a dulcimer.
Joni
originally.
played it on a dulcimer.
She
yeah.
wrote it and did it
Lap
on dulcimer. So whoever showed you transposed it to guitar.
Yeah, and I can't say I'm like the best at explaining exactly what I'm doing on the guitar, but I feel like you could probably play it in an open tuning. You could probably play it in open D, like really nicely, I would imagine. Or
You could play it with a partial
you could-
capo.
yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot of ways you could do it, but I feel like with any song, my philosophy, like I said, is just figure out where you can sing it, where you can really sink into what you're saying and what the words mean and how they make you feel. So good luck.
Good
Thank
luck.
you.
Yeah.
Because my mother tells me I need to copy the exact song so that she understands what song I'm doing. So I'm glad that someone actually understands.
Yeah, I think it's like you don't want to change the melody because
Right.
that's what
Correct.
makes it the
Yeah,
song.
it's beautiful melody.
But I think you can do little things that make it like you're the singer, and you can do your little riff here, your little tweak where it's like, yeah, this is me singing this beautiful classic song. Obviously, you know, the words are the words, the melody is the melody, the chords are the chords. But I think, yeah, and just play with it, you know, see what feels right, I think.
And what happens, Angela, when I first heard Alice play this song, probably about 4 years ago, and she plays the guitar part the same way, and she essentially sings the melody pretty much the same, but I've watched her as she's grown as a singer really inhabit the song. And on this version, have you heard her recent version that's on
I only
Spotify?
listened to it today, but yes.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you.
Sorry, I did-
But what I was just going to say, where she got to with the vocal is way past where she started from 4 years ago,
me a
3
while
years
to
ago.
get there,
So
yeah.
just know that it's a
It
process.
is totally.
Yeah, and you just you get more and more comfortable. You try stuff. Some stuff you find works really well. Some stuff you find doesn't work, and that's all part of the process.
Yeah.
It's like there are no mistakes. You know, the only mistake is the one you don't learn from.
Yeah, and I feel like
So-
there's a subtle shift also that we've dealt with a lot in the studio where it's like, okay, you know how to sing the song, like you know the notes and you know the melody, and it's like you kind of, now that you know it, you can really get inside it and like
Right.
really feel
Feel it.
what are you, there's like an acting element, there's like a character sort of like, what do I feel when I say these words, and really think about what the words mean. And that's, I think, where that subtle but important shift happens as a singer for me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, and I'll just dovetail onto that, just because
you dovetailing on my dovetail?
I am dovetailing your dovetail. Yes, double dovetail.
Wow.
Yes, and that means it's going to fly around in circles. But
No, but that's the important part. At least it's a circle.
Yes.
yeah, but what I'm going to say is, having worked with one of what I think is one of the great singers ever, with Bonnie Raitt, the thing that Bonnie does, yes, she has a beautiful voice, you know, and Alice has a beautiful voice, but what really makes Bonnie great is what she does with the lyrics and how she takes the emotion of what the lyrics are saying and puts it musically, whether it's a little bend here or whether it's getting louder or softer, and she totally inhabits the song. It's taken her obviously a while to get there, and she's got great roots. But I would just say, as a singer, that's really where it's at. And I'm just watching Alice grow that way. I'm watching me grow that way, you know, to where it's not always
Never
about
stops.
hitting. Yeah, it's not about hitting every note right. It's about what is the song saying, and how do you somehow emote the emotion of it. And it's a wonderful challenge, and it's not always easy.
Yeah.
You just be patient with it.
Yeah. Thanks for asking that. I'm glad we
Yeah.
got to talk a little bit about that.
I've
Cool.
written like only 2 songs, so I'm nowhere near anywhere your exponential. But it just, to me, that was like the first song I ever wanted to write, like do as a cover.
Yeah.
And I realized my guitar skill was never where it was.
Yeah.
Well, not quite.
You
It's only been
chose
2
you
years.
chose a tough one. You didn't choose an easy.
But I will say
three-chord
it's
song.
one of the first ones I learned that it's one of the first ones I really wanted to cover too. And I think you should choose one that you feel strongly about and just, like, don't beat yourself up. Just know that it took me, I mean, I'm half kidding it. I feel like it took me 10 years to learn how to sing it, like really be happy with it. I feel like it just takes time, Some songs come easy. Some are like, just, sit with it. It's not going to take 10 years. I'm just,
Oh no,
But if it does, it's okay. It's okay.
Cool. Well, thank you, Angela. Thanks for coming on and asking that. It's nice to meet you. Good luck with
Nice
your
to meet you as
learning
well.
of the song. Yeah. So I'm thinking maybe Shanna could take us out with a song, if she would be willing. And also, how do we know you're wearing a dress?
You'd never
Is it just
know.
a shirt?
I could be lying.
She's gonna show us a dress. Look out.
I gotta see it. I need proof. Okay,
Oh, yes.
it's a dress. Okay.
Alice, could I say something quickly first?
Sure.
Sure, Storm. How you doing?
All right. I just wanted to thank you for the song you did for 2 reasons. One, I have a brother who's in the advanced stages of degenerative neuropathy. 3 years ago, he had a job traveling around the world, and now he needs a wheelchair to walk his dog. So I really appreciated that. Plus, I put in the chat that there's a very well-known contra dance caller named David Kaner. He's a caller and fiddler who is exactly where you were talking about in the very last stages of ALS. And he's actually composing new dance tunes and dances with his eyes.
Wow.
And I've known him for many years.
Wow.
On the lighter side, I wanted to let you know that when you had Angela pinned, at least on my view screen, it looked like Shanna and Alice and Sue and Angela all have red highlights. So I had red-haired bingo across the top of my screen.
Yes. Bingo. Thank you for that, Storm. Nice to see you. Shanna.
All right.
Apparently you have to press vinyl now. I'm seeing in the chat you're being convinced. I gotta say,
so expensive.
it is expensive, and I also would say be aware it's gonna take a long time. I made the mistake of selling them on my Kickstarter and being like, you'll have them in October, and it was like the following March.
Right.
Just so you know, to give yourself some time.
Alice, I'm going to say just before Shannon started, I think Don wanted to say something. Did you want to say something, Don?
Oh, Shanna's really just hold on. Okay, yes. Yes?
You have to unmute, Don. Okay, yeah, there you go. Yes.
Okay. Question. It was a question for Shanna. You remember her? She's your guest. Shanna, what kind of guitar is that? I can't see the bottom. It's a cutaway. I know it's a Guild. Is it Florentine cutaway? No.
I
Okay,
don't
never
know.
mind.
It's a
But you know the model?
Taylor.
No, it's a Guild.
It is a Guild, but no, I got a Guild. It's a 40, and it's got the Florentine cutaway. I just couldn't
Oh,
tell.
those are nice.
Nice.
And one more question.
Yeah.
What are you doing in Boulder to train for this bike ride? And since I know it's not warm weather there, how are you training to do that, dear?
I'm not.
Well, you better get on it. Let me just give you a little advice on that. Now I'll let you play the music.
I'll get on it. I have so 10 years ago, I biked across the country from east to west, and I didn't train at all, and it was fine. And I understand that is when my body was 10 years younger, so I'm not allowed to use that as an excuse, but I like to. I'm gonna close it out on this one for you guys today. Oh baby, last night was so good. You were amazing. I can still picture it all right now. The way you brought in the groceries, the way you took out the trash, the way you remembered to feed the cat. Then you unloaded the dishwasher. And when I got home from work, you had dinner on the table. I wanted you for dessert. Oh, I don't need a man with a face like Brad, Zac Efron's hair, or Channing Tatum's abs, sporting a Rolex and a Cadillac. I like it if you look like you would be a good dad. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. So hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. I like your dad bod. And oh, I can feel it. It's so hard and so smooth. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. You finally sanded the table in the living room. Then I got hot and bothered when you answered my text right away. Then I got really tired. And you said those magic words, okay, not today. Oh, I don't need a man with a face like Brad, George Clooney's hair, or Channing Tatum's abs, sporting a Rolex and a Cadillac. Yeah, I like it if you look like you would be a good dad. Yeah, that's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. This is usually the sing-along part. That's hot. That's hot. I like your dad bod, and I love how I don't have to babysit you at parties. 'Cause ladies, we all know that's the worst. They say nice guys finish last, and they're right. You always let me come first. Woo, that was the line I didn't think I could sing on the radio. I changed it to a really lame PG version. I was like, you always let me go first. Anyway, that's hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. So hot. That's hot. That's hot. That's hot. I like your dad bod.
Shanna in a Dress. Thank you.
Man.
What a perfect note to end on. That was amazing. And
Thank
Shanna,
you.
we'll have to take you to Norman's Rare Guitars here in LA and have you do a video at the shop when
Definitely.
you come, because I think you would be a hit
Well, you'd be
on
a
their
big hit.
channel. So
Absolutely.
we'll definitely do that, and maybe we can.
That would be a great song
I
to
know
do,
it would
by
be.
the way.
Oh my god,
That'd be a really good
would be
song.
great. Any of your songs would be.
Yeah.
You're one of your funny, quirky ones. I think would be killer for their channel.
Absolutely.
Would be great. So
Awesome. Thanks.
for coming. Yeah. Thanks for coming, everybody. Thanks for being here, for watching, for your
Thank you all.
donations. Thank you for being here every week with us. If you come every week, we're so grateful for your support, and hope you come back next week for Heather May and Chris Matthews.
You
And
really
then
like that.
The week
Very
after, we have our dear friend
Harold
Harold
Payne.
Payne, who is amazing. We're so excited to have him.
And the week after that, Seth Gleer,
Oh, yeah.
who's a wonderful singer and songwriter, piano player, humanitarian, beautiful guy. So
Yes. Well,
thank you for joining us,
Thank
everybody.
you all. Nice to
This was
see
fun.
you.
Shanna, you're wonderful.
you're fabulous. Thanks
Thank
for
you so
coming,
much.
Shanna.
Guys, thanks for having
Great
me.
to spend the evening with you.
Congratulations, Mike. use it in good musical form.
Enjoy
and
your
taste.
cable.
And
thanks-
your T-shirt.
And he sent me some tea. Thanks for the tea. Mike.
Yeah,
I'm
the
enjoying
tea's
that.
great, by the way. Yeah.
All right, you guys. See you next time. Good night.
Bye-bye.
Night.
Bye, Shanna.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.